Tata Technologies is the first IPO from the Tata Group in almost 20 years. Their last IPO was TCS from 2004 and it has been a massive multi-bagger since its listing. TCS has multiplied investors' wealth by more than 30 times and it is still going strong. I usually do not like IPOs at all because most of them are borderline scams for retail investors. They are designed in a way to make a lot of money for investment bankers, venture capitalists, private equity firms and anchor investors. But this IPO from the Tata Group seems to be a little different. And please remember, whenever I say nice things about a company, it does not mean that I am recommending their stock and you should go and invest your money into it. It is just a review. So in this video, we will be talking about some of the numbers and dates regarding this IPO, the business, and most importantly, the listing gains that retail investors can make. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Namaste and welcome to Retail Investing. So this IPO will be open for retail investors between 22nd November and 24th November. Now that is called a public issue and this entire issue is offer for sale. So what happens in an offer for sale is that no fresh capital is raised, which means there is no more dilution of the company. The people who invested into the company at an earlier stage will sell their shares to retail investors. Shares worth roughly 3,000 crore rupees will be sold through this offer for sale. So who are the sellers? So Tata Motors, who is the promoter of the company, is selling shares worth 2,313.75 crore rupees. Alpha TC Holdings, which is a private equity firm, is selling shares worth 485.84 crore rupees. Tata Capital Growth Fund, which is also a private equity firm, is selling shares worth 242.92 crore rupees. Now that we know the sellers, let's have a look at the buyers. So half of the shares have been reserved for qualified institutional investors, 15% for high net worth individuals, and the remaining 35% for retail investors. Now before all this happens, a group of investors called anchor investors will get the opportunity to buy the shares at a fixed price on 21st November. Anchor investors are actually institutional investors who have to invest a minimum of 10 crore rupees and they are not allowed to sell their shares within 30 days from the allotment, and this lock-in period ends on 20th December. So does that mean a big selling can be expected after 20th December? Maybe, maybe not. But I think retail investors should know about this. So retail investors can make a minimum investment of 15,000 rupees for 30 shares and a maximum investment of 1.95 lakh rupees for 390 shares. The price band is in between 475 and 500 rupees per share, and that makes the market cap of the company around 20,000 crore rupees. But there is a place called the grey market, and not even SEBI has any control over the grey market. There are no rules and it is controlled by a small group of people. One-on-one transactions take place over the counter and this grey market is suggesting a premium. As on 17th November, the grey market premium was 340 rupees, which means the listing price should be between 815 and 840 rupees. So this means around 71% gains in just a few days. Tata Technologies will not receive any money from this IPO, and all the money will go to the shareholders who are selling the shares. This means their business is going well and they do not need to raise any money. But Tata Motors is selling a 9.9% stake. That means Tata Motors either need the money for some reason or they do not believe in Tata Technologies. So it is a global engineering services company and it provides certain services to the OEMs. So there are a lot of high-tech terms involved which retail investors do not need to know in detail for making money. But for the sake of understanding the business, let me share some of the platforms on which the company provides services. So there is a software called Autodesk, and this software is used to make more softwares which are used by manufacturing companies. So companies which make high performance cars like Jaguar and Land Rover, for example, which is a subsidiary of the Tata Group now, need Autodesk solutions. Skyscrapers, smartphones, all these industries need Autodesk solutions. Now besides Autodesk, there are other platforms which I will share on the screen, and people who are interested can do detailed research on things like what is a turnkey solution, pure play manufacturing focused engineering. Now let's have a brief look at some of the numbers. So the revenues for the financial year 2023 were 4,418 crore rupees, which was up 25% from previous year. The profit after tax was 708 crores, which is a growth of 63% from the previous year. In between financial year 2021 and 2023, the revenues grew at a CAGR of 30% and the profit after tax grew at a CAGR of 61.5%. As on March 2023, the return on capital employed was 19.5% and the return on equity was 23.7%. Its revenue growth is much faster than that of companies like Tata Elxsi, LTTS and KPIT Technologies. So risk number 1 is revenue concentration. Tata Motors and Jaguar Land Rover, which are subsidiaries of the Tata Group, account for 40% of the company's revenues. Risk number 2 is the cyclicality of the automotive sector. Since most of the revenues come from the auto sector and the auto sector itself is highly cyclical in nature, we cannot expect a constant stream of revenues. And risk number 3 is that a lot of future revenues are expected to come from the EV sector. As of now, most of the EV companies are very small in size and their future plans are uncertain in many cases. If I were to invest in this IPO, I would not do it only for the listing gains. I would like to be a long-term investor. As of now, it seems like Dalal Street is going to respond well to this IPO and it is likely to be a hot issue. Please type in the comment section whether you are applying for the Tata Technologies IPO or not. Now this video was not a recommendation of any kind, but definitely a review of some kind. If you have got any valuable information, please like and share. And if you don't want to miss future videos, consider subscribing. Thank you very much for joining and I'll see you soon. Jai Hind.